Okay, so today in Knowledge Videos 101, I am going to be analyzing the knowledge claim, ways of knowing are a check on our instinctive judgments, and if I agree or disagree with this claim. Okay, so first of all, before I start giving my argument and opinions on this claim, I want to break it down into three parts to get a better understanding of it. A knowledge claim is an assertion or statement of what the knower or knowers believe to be true. In this case, ways of knowing are a check on our instinctive judgments. So, the first part that I want you to understand is ways of knowing, that you can see in pink. These are described as the methods through which knowledge becomes apparent to us. There are 8 different ways of knowing, and those are faith, reason, intuition, perception, emotion, imagination, memory, and language. But I'm going to be focusing specifically on reason and memory. Number 2, check, as you can see in light blue. Now what a check allows you to do is examine something in order to determine its condition, accuracy, or quality. An example of this could be looking around or checking if there's anything or anybody suspicious around happening if you're going to get in your car maybe in a dark parking in the nighttime, like in Plaza or something like that. There are various actions involved with checking something, and those involve pausing, reflecting, taking a second to rethink, challenge, reshape, reconsider, affirm, or reinforce what's happening at the moment. In this knowledge claim, a check is considered as something quick and decisive. Number 3, and the last part of this claim that I want to break down, is instinctive judgments. Now, an instinct is defined as an innate, typically fixed pattern of behavior in response to a certain stimuli or a thing that arouses activity, energy, or incentive. A judgment is defined as the ability to make considered decisions or come to sensible conclusions. Now, an instinct is something that I would say happens rather quickly. We say, we determine, we act. Rather, a judgment takes time to consider a decision and come to a conclusion. What this means is that the term instinctive judgments refers to being able to make a quick instinctive action determined by one's judgment on the activity or happenings at the moment. Now this is where ways of knowing serve as a check on our instinctive judgments. That little leverage of judgment, of thinking, of considering allowed in instinctive judgments is where a person is able to act out in order to make the best solution or outcome determined on the knowledge that has become apparent to us in that certain situation or thing. In other words, I'm saying that I agree with this knowledge claim. Now, let me explain the both ways of knowing, reason and memory, to explain my argument a little better so you can understand better. Okay. So reason is a way of knowing that serves as a check on our instinctive judgments. A brief example of this can be defined in this scenario. Imagine being in Spain, in the bull run where bulls chase you and that kind of stuff, etc. If you notice that a bull is going to charge you and you only have seconds to act, your reason is going to quickly help you deduce that the bull is mad, it's not going to stop, and the bull is going to hurt you. The act of deducing the bull's later actions is the check. In other words, the instinctive judgment followed by the action of quickly getting out of the bull's way because you want to be rammed by the bull. The final way that I'm going to examine the way of knowing in this case is memory, which is the faculty by which the mind stores information and later remembers it. A specific case in how I see memory acting as a check in my instinctive judgments is when I was little and I would play basketball in neighborhood parks with my friends. My father would always tell me about the times that he would be chased by older kids because they wanted to beat him up, take his bike, and 100 more things. This memory I always kept in my head when playing basketball, and I would make me reconsider if I wanted to keep on playing basketball in the court if I saw some older kids looking at us in a sketchy way or something like that. Now, I had never been chased or beaten up by older kids except one time that some juniors took my basketball. But that memory I had in my mind of my father's childhood experiences always made me instinctively consider or examine, in other words check, the scenario of older kids if they came to the park and weren't friendly or simply sketchy. Memory acted as a constant check in my immediate judgments of what was happening and if I should act or not act. So, in other words, I agree with the knowledge claim, as can be seen through what I was saying about reason and memory. And these were my opinions and rhetoric on the claim. Ways of knowing are a check on our instinctive judgments. Thank you very much for listening.